Hey, fourth grade students. I'm about to show you how we are going to start our planet project based on the artist Amy Genser. So what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be tracing our circle. We're going to be applying our watercolors to it. I'm going to show you a few watercolor techniques, and then we're going to add salt to the finished product. So these are the step-by-steps of how to begin your watercolor planet for your base of this project. So my first step is I'm getting a piece of drawing paper. I have my eraser and my pencil just in case I make a mistake. I'll be able to erase whatever I don't want. So at your table, you're going to have these 10-inch circles. And what you're going to do is we want to make sure our circle is on the left side of our paper so we have all this extra room here, and I'll show you in a little bit why we need that space. So the first step, you're going to put your hand on the circle, take your pencil, and just lightly trace all the way around, okay? When you're done with your circle, all I would like you to do is just pass it to the next person, and we're done with our circle. Okay, so you can kind of see the pencil circle on my paper. It's on the left side of my paper. I have all this room over here that we're going to be utilizing, so please do not put your circle in the center, okay? The next thing I want you to do is flip over your paper. Okay, on the back of where your circle is, I want you to write your name and your class code. Don't forget it because it's really important. Go ahead and flip your paper back over. All right, so I have my eraser just in case I need to erase something. I've got a little squiggle there. I'm gonna go ahead and erase. Now I am done with my pencil and my eraser. So we have our watercolor water. We have our watercolor paints that we're going to be using today. We have some salt, and we have some paper towels, okay? The paper towels we're gonna be using for cleaning off our brush as well as a certain technique that I'm going to show you, okay? So this area, this empty area is really important because we're going to use this to practice our watercolors, okay? When you get a paintbrush, it's really important that you clean it out first, okay? So you just wanna wring the paintbrush in the bowl around and then get the extra water off on the side, okay? So you should have a paintbrush that's a little pointy. I always tell my students to take a paper towel, put your paintbrush on the inside and pull out so it has a nice point, and that way we know it's clean and ready for us to use. So when we're making our planet, we want to make sure that we're using really cool colors for our planet. Whatever you wrote in your sketchbook or drew, you want to try and stick to that plan as best as you can. When we're looking at colors and we're doing planets, we want to use a variety, okay? So if I wanted a hot kind of planet, I could use my warm colors. A cool planet, I could use my cool colors, okay? I'm going to do a planet that has like purple and blues on it. So the first thing I need to do is get some water on my brush. I'm going to go ahead and add it to my purple, okay? So I'm gonna make a mark over here. One really important thing to know about watercolors is the more water you add to the pigment, and the pigment is the paint, the more water you add to it, the lighter it is. So if I just put my watercolor brush in here and did it again, it's a little darker. So the more water I have, it's lighter, but the less water I have, it's darker. So what you wanna do is when you find a color that you like, so I'm gonna stick with this purple. If I add a little water to my brush, it's gonna be lighter, and I just went right against that darker purple, and the water kind of expands it, but it also makes it lighter. So I'm gonna go ahead and get my dark purple. I'm gonna go around the edge of my planet. It's okay if you go outside of the lines. That's why we have the pencil line. And this is the part where I'm gonna speed up. So engage time lapse now. So the more water you have in the brush, the more it's going to cover your planet. So that's a really good thing to do, is we're doing something called a wash. So we just wanna kinda get a color all over. And what's really cool about watercolor is if you make a mistake, there is a way to fix it. So what you can do is if you want to make an area lighter or retouch, you can just take your paper towel and dab it out, okay? That kind of clears that area. So then I can go back with my color and add it to my planet, okay? I'm gonna go back with some more purple or this color here to kind of blend them in together. Okay, because we want to make this kind of look spherical. So we need to add value, which means different shades of color.
I'm gonna get some light blue too.
Another thing that's important is this paper is not watercolor paper, so you need to be really conscious of how much water you're using, because you don't want to make the paper kind of ball up in those areas where I see happening right here. That means that I have too much water, so please be conscious of how much water you're putting on this paper. Okay, so now I'm kind of happy with how my planet looks. I'm just gonna spread this out a little bit more, and I think I'm gonna dab some color out. Okay, so this is gonna be my planet. It's okay if it doesn't look perfect because again, we're gonna add those quilling techniques on top, okay? And now I'm just gonna take a little water and kind of do a light water wash on top because we're gonna add some salt. And we need water for our salt to do its job on our watercolor. So I'm just adding a little bit more water kind of all over my planet. I'm gonna spread out these water parts, okay? All right, cool. Now I'm gonna take a little pinch of salt and just sprinkle it on. Then by the time we come back to art, the salt's gonna pull that water out and it's gonna give it a really cool effect on our planet. All right, go ahead and get working. You guys are gonna do a great job.